for that, but we will have a remake after this game. Apparently the admin thinks I'm important enough to warrant it. Anyway, welcome everybody to your second GEST Dota 2 group stage match of the day. I'm your host, LD. This tournament, of course, brought to you by Dota Talk, presented to you by Beyond the Summit. I'm from Dota Commentaries, and, well, Beyond the Summit too, I guess you could say. But here we are. It's going to be N9 facing off against MiTH, and MiTH, a team that has been really off the radar as of late, but if we look at their roster, it's pretty much untouched. TNK, R5, aaabaaa, oh, his name always gave me fits and conniptions, SD, and lakelz, so pretty much the exact same roster. In fact, I think identical to what they've had for a long time. Now I'm curious, how active have they been as a team? How much have they been practicing? These questions, we'll find the answers out to them soon, and, well, it's your ass's mine on the other side, or perhaps better known as Natural 9, with that badass picture of Winter. I think that's Winter. Spinning some tunes. That's their avatar. That's their logo. And MiTH, classic MiTH, they're going to first pick a Prophet. It's something we don't see a whole lot of nowadays. Let me just double check, make sure everything else is working. Okay, just the chat trolling. We should be good. So, Prophet first pick. This does leave you open to some aggressive dual lanes, to early tri-lanes, to even running things like Wisp Tiny, or Wisp Chaos Knight, Wisp plus anything. Really limits the Prophet. So, one of the reasons we haven't seen him first picked is that he doesn't really do a whole lot for you until he hits level 6, hits level 7, by which point, many times, games of Dota have already been won or lost, so it's not a bad first pick. Prophet's always going to be a decent choice, but it does reveal to a certain extent how your lanes, or that your lanes aren't going to be the strongest, and that's the one downside of this pick. But N9, they're going to respond to Jakiro, Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter, a great hero to punish that Prophet pick. In the mid-game, you always have to worry about Bounty Hunter being there. He's got a way to cancel your teleport or your TP scroll, so you can't guarantee that you'll be able to get away from him safely because of that shrieking cost. And here comes the cat. Give me 1 sec.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
This is classic MiTH, though. This is what they like to go for. They also love to run the lakelz Morphling. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to adjust to the new version. I'm not sure what carries they favor. It's a team that really like to almost abuse some of those really powerful picks in 6.74b, and we'll see. And they relied on them quite heavily, so I'm curious how have they adapted to this new version. Naga Siren is the pick following this up. So going back for, oh, I like this. This is really going to make life difficult for that Bounty Hunter. Net to reveal him when he's invis. Tons of lockdown, tons of chain stun. And lots of burst damage with the Edict and the Riptide as well. This makes life difficult for Bounty Hunter in that safe lane. Now, it all comes down to the individual play of the Bounty Hunter as well. If you're really clever, if you're really creative, you can do what YYF does. Find some really cute spots to hide in the enemy jungle. Wait until you see the supports pulling or entering the lane, appearing on the map, and then go to pull the wave, sort of like a lone druid. Just pull it behind your own tower. So you can, to some extent, deal with this kind of lineup for MiTH, but if you're sloppy, if you're greedy, if you try to stay in the lane and they have sentry wards, you can also give up a first blood. So it really comes down to the Bounty Hunter's individual map awareness and play to see how the laning stage will shape out. The Leshrac pick also works reasonably well with a hero like Naga Siren. You have what is a pretty good setup stun is my aches. Everything is going crazy in my room right now. Whether it's my phone or my cat or the door just opening itself. Alright. Wolf, go get focused, guys. I promise. I promise. Let's see. What else is available right now? Well, if N9 want to go for something a little bit more IG-esque, I think a Night Stalk would be quite strong in this game. Great at punishing the Prophet pick. The Silence really effective against all of these heroes, especially to disable that TP. Or to disable that Song of the Siren from the Naga. we could see something like that. I don't expect we will. It's not how N9 have been playing, but I think it's one of the best ways to deal with this MiTH Trust lineup. Get strong mid-game gankers. Don't let them get their split push rolling. Don't let the Naga and the Prophet get big enough where they can just control the map, keep the creep momentum going against you. So anyway, for anyone just tuning in, this is a best out of one format. It's the GEST Dota 2 group stages, and we're in the banning stage. This is our second match of the day. It was actually scheduled to be our third, but MUFC versus D-Sport. D-Sport was issued a forfeit loss for taking like 45 minutes to show up, something ridiculous along those lines. So we're into our third match, N9 versus MiTH Trust, and well, it looks to be a lakelz Naga Siren. And actually, it's been so long since I cast these guys, I'm a little bit rusty on the rest of the roles for the team. I think aaabaaa is the solo mid player. But it's been, oh god, it's been a good 4 or 5 months since I've cast them. Most likely. Sand King banned out, so a lot of initiators, a lot of good combo heroes with the Naga Siren being banned out right now. Alchemist as the final ban.
Dire team ban.
And based on the way MiTH Trust have drafted so far, it looks to be a solo Prophet, a Naga Siren Leshrac tri-lane, with the third component yet to be determined, and then something for that solo mid. As far as solo mids go, Queen of Pain has, I think, rather surprisingly slipped through the draft, and if MiTH Trust get their hands on that Queen of Pain, I think that's a lot more scary than the Sand King. I would be very concerned about giving that up, because they need a solo mid. They don't have one right now. It gives you the mobility, it gives you another split pusher. And we saw a very similar kind of strategy coming out from Zenith last game, or well, it was a Zenith mix, but they, instead of the Prophet, they had a Brood, but it was the Naga, the Brood, and the Queen of Pain. Those three together, spreading the map, finding kills. Queen of Pain, one of the most versatile, one of the most reliable solo mids, so I would really like to see N9 ban that out now. Let's see if they do it. If not, I expect MiTH Trust will snap it right up.
Radiant team pick.
Both teams looking for a solo mid, so it's not just that MiTH Trust are looking for one. They could be a solo mid Prophet. It's just not what you would expect, but both teams could pick the Queen of Pain. As far as other heroes available, since I've been prattling on about her for quite a while, there's a Dragon Knight. That's something I think MiTH Trust has run in the past from time to time. That's something we've seen a lot from the Asian or from the Chinese teams as of late. And they go for this big team fight. They go for more of the pushing style. They get the Enigma here that will leave Dragon Knight, Queen of Pain, Broodmother is in the pool as well, and most of Broodmother's counters have been banned out. The Darkseer, the Sand King, and the Tide are all banned, so a Brood pick in this game could be a decent choice. There is a decent amount of lockdown on the side of MiTH Trust. On the side of N9, they kind of already have their offlane hero in the Bounty Hunter. Maybe not the best choice, but wouldn't necessarily be a bad option. They're going to go for the Sven. N9 goes for the tower diving combo. They have the move speed, they have the plus armor for Warcry. Now they've got the track bonus move speed. So they're all going to be moving extremely quickly. And honestly, a Night Stalker would round this lineup really well. It wouldn't give them a whole ton of team fight or late game, but just such a disruptive, ganking, aggressive tower diving combo. And that's really what you want against MiTH Trust. You don't want to let them get to the point where they have the Death Ball, where they have the Enigma Black Hole, they have their mechanism up, they have their pipe maybe being worked on, or a hood complete on somebody. Once MiTH Trust get to that point in the game, winning a fight gets very, very tough. And it's a Magnus! Okay, alright, something different from MiTH Trust. Oh boy, this one is gonna be a treat. So Magnus solo mid, Enigma jungle, Prophet offlane, Naga Siren Leshrac safe lane. That should be the lanes for MiTH Trust. And Magnus will do great in that mid lane. There is nobody who's gonna give him any sort of trouble. Maybe a dual lane could shut him down. I'm loving this Magnus pick. This gives them a hero that combos beautifully with Song of the Siren, sets up the Black Hole, sets up the Leshrac Split Earth. Actually, a really smart pick. Now, the one downside to this pick, it does make them quite reliant on those ultimate cooldowns, and they are pretty long cooldowns. Reverse Polarity, I want to say it's 140 seconds. It's pretty long. It's not quite as long as Black Hole, but it is a long cooldown, and until Song of the Siren gets level 16, until you get level 16 on the Naga Siren, it's a pretty long cooldown as well. We have seen Magnetor before in Dota 2 and in Dota 1. This is an interesting pick. They go for the Pucks. This looks like a tri-lane. It looks like a Bounty Hunter and Puck is the two solos. Probably a Sven, Keeper of the Light, Twin-Headed Dragon. I'm even going to say offensive tri-lane from N9, and we're going to have a quick remake so that I can actually get into a broadcaster slot. I like this Puck pick, though. On paper, that's what they need, is a teamfight disruptor. They need someone who can prevent that big teamfight combo from getting going, and Puck has the ult with the mini-stun, the Dream Coil, and the silence. It's a really smart pick. The concern is, once the BKBs come out, and if they don't have enough or even the mechanism, the pipe, if this Myth Trust lineup is able to tank that initial barrage of spells, and they start getting any of the ults off, then the game is going to fall apart. N9's lineup is all about winning that aggressive tri-lane, which should be in the suicide lane for them, getting the Puck in early Blink Dagger, and not letting Myth Trust get to the 30, 40-minute mark, or even the 25-minute mark, without being at a significant disadvantage. Oh god. Oh god. I should not have looked at that profile. Oh jeez. That was not something I wanted to see. That was not something I wanted to see. Well, I'm gonna chill. My headphones make my ears itch, so I'm gonna take them off for a little bit. Oh, the poster I haven't put up yet is the one from the International too. It's the one with all the hero pictures. The one that a lot of people were getting signed. Yeah, that's the one I haven't put up yet. I'm not sure who's casting Mineski versus Zenith. Let me check. It is godz, so twitch.tv/GESTIDC, and you can watch godz casting it. Oh, the chat already helped you out. Oh my god, what's going on with my... Oh, they're picking heroes. Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to N9 vs. Myth Trust, the remake. You're watching the GEST Dota 2 group stages. This is our second best out of one of the day, and we have N9 with that creepy pedophile picture as their logo on the dire side. They went for what looks to be an aggressive tri-lane with a Sven, a Keeper of the Light, and a Twin-Headed Dragon. You can already see them making their foray towards the enemy jungle. Shatan going to be that one-position farmer for this team, as you expect, on the Sven. fzfz from Invasion Red, playing the Puck. Should be their solo mid, most likely. Godot on the Keeper of the Light, with who's purchased... I guess he purchased the wards and the cur. He is quite poor, quite squishy. Bounty Hunter being handled by Risk. All these random quotation marks really do not look very good to my eyes, aesthetically speaking. And then Winter, of course, playing the Jakiro. Meanwhile, on the side of MiTH, we have lakelz on the Naga Siren, R5, R5, handling that Leshrac, T and K on the Enigma, aaabaaa on the Magnus, and SD playing the Prophet. So offlane Prophet, solo mid Magnus, he'll be rushing a bottle, and Magnus is actually a very solid solo mid. His nuke has an extremely low cooldown, it's very spammable. It's similar to Breathe Fire from Dragon Knight, except it's even easier to spam. Lower mana cost, so I think Magnus is a bit better of a mana pool. Now, he doesn't have the HP regen from Dragon's Blood. So in that respect, he has to deal with harassment, but his base armor is pretty good. His base damage is pretty good, and he gives them just a great teamfight presence, as well as a pushing hero. Magnus is a pusher. Not only can he push himself with Empower and great, giving himself or an ally like the Naga Siren Cleave, but he's got Shockwave to mow down creep waves. Don't be deceived by the amount of teamfight MiTH have. They are actually a pretty scary pushing force as well. It's not just him, it's the fact that Enigma can get an early mechanism if he gets some farm, which, speaking of which, he's going to have a tough time. Does he have any sentry wards? None picked up on him. There are some on R5, R5, but there are 3 wards to contest with. The new and cheaper wards you can see the effect of it in this game. Wards used to be 200 gold per set, now they're only 150, and it does make life a little bit easier for these support players. You probably wouldn't see this many Observer wards being used, but nowadays you can. TNK should realize the camp's warded off now. Let's see if the supports will be here in time. Nice little spot. This one gave... Oh, who was it? Was it Tongfu? Somebody had an absolute fit trying to deal with... No, it was Flash Esports. Lost a game because of this ward. Just absolutely lost the game because of it in G1 League. So let's see how good of a job MiTH do at dewarding it. It's a very unusual spot, and actually I think it's just... This sentry ward should be just in range. It's close, though. It's near the boundary. Good news for TNK is this camp was not warded, and he's Enigma, so he can farm any camp. We'll be able to rotate over here now as well. So far, they're running an offensive tri-lane against the Naga Siren. Bounty Hunter's going to get some free farm up in the safe lane. And mid lane, Puck versus Magnus. Wow, FC has really harassed him hard. Magnus desperately trying to farm up that bottle. Does have it on the way, and now life gets a lot easier for him. If FC is quick on the reactions, he can dodge pretty much all of these, and he will start off by doing so. So he won't take harassment, but aaabaaa, for him it's about the creeps. Getting 8 and 1 already. Farming quite well. It seems like all of our solos are going to get some farm. Prophet, even in this offlane, it's actually a little bit of a tough matchup laning against Bounty Hunter without sentry wards, especially when he's in a safe lane. But he should be able to get some farm. Should be able also to be that +1 in this bottom lane, which they may need him here. This is not the strongest tri-lane. Enigma doesn't do a whole lot until he hits, say, level 4 or 5. Jakiro, a great tri-lane hero if he's got the right lineup. If he's got something else, like a Jakiro and a Naga. But when it's just Naga and Leshrac, it's not really the best combo. Here comes the initiation. The stuns were stacked. Not the best combination, but the Illuminate comes through, and that'll be our first blood. Godot picks it up, and the chase is on. Now they're giving mana to Shatan. He's continuing to chase. Stormbolt cooling down. Can't really dive this. That long cooldown Stormbolt. Actually, maybe they could have. Didn't expect the Ice Pad to be there. Godot with the haste rune. And in the end, they get the first blood. They get the kill. And they get out safely. So far, so good. This is where you'd love to have a hero like Jakiro on your side. But any tri-lane with Keeper of the Light plus Jakiro, plus any type of initiating stun, nigh impossible to deal with. Look at Wrist. This is how annoying that Bounty Hunter is to lane against. He was pulled some regen. He started with 6 tangos. And he had a poor man's shield. That's the other reason why this Keeper of the Light was so damn poor. And that makes it very easy to trade hits with Nature's Prophet, even to tank the trance to a certain extent. Prophet's going to TP towards the bottom lane. They want to look to go big dive onto this tower. lakelz drops low. lakelz will survive. SD going to pick up one. SD once more. They've overextended. They've tanked that tower. SD giving chase. And that's going to be it. Whenever you run an offensive tri-lane and you're up against a Prophet, you always have to be mindful not to overextend, because if you do, that's where the TP comes in. That's where that counter gank plays in. Now, the good news is, although he gets the kill, he doesn't buy a TP scroll. Rather surprising. He's going to walk all the way back up top. He can't even farm the small camp. He's missing a huge creep wave. This is a pretty big mistake by SD. I guess he couldn't get access to the shop, but should have gotten his team to help him. Look at how much he's missing, and also they spot his rotation in. Oh well, enough about that. Bit of an opportunity missed. Regen picked up by Winner. TNK not being shut down yet. You'll notice a nice observer ward is here. And this is important. N9 devoted quite a few wards to blocking off camps. They weren't giving themselves vision so they could rotate around. You can see what they're trying to do now is push the lane, not only to harass lakelz, but also so that they can circle around, try and backstab that bottom lane, try and gank into the jungle. Having the lane pushed really allows N9 to do more. With the lane pulled back, sure you're denying a little bit of farm to the Naga, but it's coming at too much of a cost. You really want to push the lane, then dive the tower with the creeps, killing the Naga, killing the Shrek, or rotating in the jungle to kill Enigma. So I expect we're going to see them just continue to spam those nukes as much as possible. Shatan is going for the Warcry build. Top lane, some blows being traded. Not too much aggression, though. We've seen Prophet already get involved in this tri lane. But the real question is, when is he going to get his ult? And also, when is this Bounty Hunter going to start ganking? Because he's got track. He's got 1,400 gold. And this is what I was discussing earlier, is Bounty Hunter actually wins this matchup versus Prophet unless Prophet has Sentry Wards. You just walk in and Janata hits you so hard that it's not enough. Black Hole was cast and immediately cancelled. What a Stormbolt. Now the creeps to deny the kill and they're forced back for the moment. Prophet TP's in. He's tracked. That's going to give additional move speed to all these heroes. Now the Ice Path comes in. Illuminate being channeled will connect on R5. R5 not quite enough to bring him down, but he's dropping low. The wraparound from Shatan. He's going to nail the Stormbolt. R5 should have run due east, but he'll pay for it instead. 2 heroes now dead. One of them was denied by the neutrals, though. And Bounty Hunter has joined the fight. In comes Risk, looking to try and get a track kill. Phase shift from the puck. fzfz is going to go for the silence. Groups up with the rest of the team. aaabaaa, what a charge. Skewers his way a billion miles away, then turns around, and Risk could have gone for that kill, but worried about the reverse polarity. Meanwhile, on the other end of play, Shatan dropping low will be brought down. The burst damage, the chain's done a bit too much for him. He buys back. Shatan wants back in. He wants some more kills. This is going to be a track kill. 4 heroes getting that track gold. A lot of gold going their way, and the dive is on. The chase is on. The silence from FC. Has he overextended? Is he going to pay? Look at the burst damage. He's got a phase shift. He'll dodge away. In comes Shatan. Endless aggression. Illuminate just driving everyone back into the tower. Ay, ay, ay. So many kills. So much kill trading. And frankly, I'm shocked the score is only 4-2. And the Radiant's still ahead in gold, but you can see it dipping quite a bit, and that is because 4 heroes just got their hands on some track gold. Middle lane, track on aaabaaa. They might be able to force out this ult. No! The new skewer. 1,200 range for that. Just makes it so easy to escape. And actually really makes Magnus a much more versatile hero. It's basically a waveform. You know, sure, it doesn't do as much damage as waveform. It's not nearly as spammable. In fact, it's got quite a long cooldown, but when you really need to get out of a gank, you have it to disengage. For anyone just tuning in, this is a best out of 1. It's the GEST Dota 2 group stages that you're watching. And we're well underway at this point. 4-2 is the score. Pretty even back and forth game so far. And now with this aggressive tri-lane, they gotta keep the aggression up. They can't let this Naga get 6, or it's gonna be so much harder to kill her. Illuminate brings her low, but will she drop? In comes the Prophet on the back lines of play. Sprouting one up. Godot gonna drop to the Edict damage. In comes TNK as well. Winter and Shatan both dropping low. Black Hole is on cooldown, was used, and then immediately cancelled in the last fight. I hear an Illuminate being channeled. Godot bought back. Godot bought back to spam that Illuminate. I don't know about that. Then again, it is a Keeper of the Light. What does he need gold for anyway? So, we have a moment of rest here, and SD has gone for a very early MiTH. When Myth Trust runs the Prophet, which they do quite a bit, they usually like to go for more of a carry Prophet, more of a farming-oriented one. We don't generally see the quick mech, the early earn. And hey, I think he's had this MiTH. What's the cooldown on it? It's already been used 50 seconds ago, so he had it around that 7-minute mark. That's a pretty early MiTH, especially for a Prophet who's been so active around the map. He's already hitting level 6. The ultimate, a great way to punish tower diving, to punish aggression in tri-lanes. And this is the concern for N9 is, can they be aggressive? Can they continue to find kills on this bottom lane? Prophet can always TP in. We still haven't seen a reverse polarity either. Black Hole is cooling down. Naga's about to get her ult up. They have so many ways to punish tower diving, to punish aggression. And N9 is built around aggression. They have a bounty hunter. They don't have the greatest team fight. They have tons of AoE damage, but not a lot of AoE lockdown. It's a Stormbolt and it's an Ice Path. And Stormbolt has such a long cooldown, and it's not a reliable AoE stun. You're guaranteed to hit one, not to hit multiple. I think MiTH Trust is actually in great shape at this point, and I'd say N9 got to be a little bit worried. They haven't gotten enough out of this tri-lane so far, at least not for my liking. The bounty hunter is very farmed, but a farm bounty hunter sets up your other heroes for success. He doesn't normally carry the game by himself. Unless you're YYF. Unless you're YYF or maybe Light of Heaven, but aside from that, not going to be the case. So far, things looking good for MiTH Trust. Saw a lot of people saying that the MiTH Trust has fallen off the face of the earth. They're not a very good team now. Well, at least to start this game, they're doing pretty well. aaabaaa controlling the runes. And this is the beauty of that Magnus solo mid, is he can actually outpush a hero like Puck. He can honestly outpush almost any hero. Because Shockwave has a 7-second cooldown and it costs 90 mana. That's insane. Compare that to something like Screw Pain. I think it's like 140, 150 mana. lakelz is going to get caught. He does have the Song of the Siren if he needs it. In fact, he's going to go aggressive here. Net onto Shatan, trying to force out some sort of a team fight. And there is some follow-up. Third here has joined it. Enigma is waiting in the wings. You'll notice, again, N9 is playing in the dark. Not anymore, though. The Bounty Hunters joined this fight. I like this. I don't think he should be farming anymore. They need to start setting up kills. They need to find pickoffs. They need the burst damage. Well, speaking of burst damage, he's gone for Shuriken Toss level 4. Which, honestly, I believe you do more damage with a level 4 Janata plus a level 2 Shuriken Toss. But it does give you more of a range nuke, and you can kite your opponents a bit better. You don't have to be in close, and being in close against MiTH Trust, very dangerous. But they're not slowing down SD, they're not slowing down the Magnus. Dreamcoil gets dropped, but remember, he's got this skewer. Just can't catch him. Can't touch me. Can't touch this, says aaabaaa, and he'll get away. No problem. No, sir. MiTH Trust really playing well so far, and blunting the aggression of N9. They still have the sleep. N9 can't go in anymore. That was the concern that I was discussing, is once he gets the sleep, unless he misplays, how do you actually lose a fight? Song of the Siren to set up what could be a nice black hole. There's an ice path. That'll cancel this pretty quickly. The turnaround is here. Prophet ult bouncing through. Everyone dropping low. Shatan on the back foot. Will the Edict bring him down? Not enough damage. Another Illuminate. Deep Sea diving from this Puck, who is still alive. He actually lost track of him in the team fight. Where is aaabaaa? Where was his TP? They needed that reverse polarity. They needed that AoE. They needed the full 5 heroes in the fight. Instead, N9 catch them with their pants down. The Ice Path, the importance of keeping that Jakiro back out of position of the black hole. Great position from him, and by himself, a Winter wins that team fight. Well, he had some help, but really, he was the main hero that did it for them. And team fighting without your solo mid Magnus, it's not even the reverse polarity, although that's a big component. It's just the AoE from Shockwave alone. He could have used it at least twice in that fight, and that's probably 2 kills. That's 600 damage before reduction. So you're looking at, I believe, what, 450, 475, something like that. That's a lot of damage, guys. That could easily be 2-3 kills, and it's AoE as well. So fighting without that Magnus, him not having a TP, a bit of a blunder, and honestly, once they saw the sleep didn't catch the Jakiro, they should have just backed off, but MiTH Trust force it, get a little bit greedy, and they'll pay. Now, they're still ahead in experience because of the jungle Enigma, because the Prophet's been fairly efficient after that first failed gank where he wasted a bit of time. And with this MiTH, he'll start to pull ahead. Oh, that was a triple kill for godot, by the way, for the Keeper of the Light. So, unfortunately, all the gold going onto a hero who, well, he could get an early mechanism, which in fact is what he's doing, but not really the most useful hero to get it on. Here comes Risk. He's on the move. He's on the prowl. He's going to rotate into this top lane. Should be an easy kill on SD. Really don't see him escaping from this. There's a TP in for Magnus. He's got reverse polarity. No, he cancels his TP. It gets canceled, actually. What a play by N9. They turn it around, and now FC forced to run away. Skewer forward into the reverse polarity. He's going to catch FC. No! Got to get that last auto attack. He will do so. Now the Malefice TNK charging in. Winter running away. Almost escaped. The Puck's phase shift was probably a quarter of a second from cooling down. It's got a very low cooldown. And if he had dodged one more attack, he might have lived. Risk waiting. Wants to backstab aaabaaa. There is no reverse polarity now. Also, there's no skewer. It's got a 30-second cooldown. It takes forever and a day to come back online. But he will have it. I think he'll be able to get away. I'm just going to walk back. So the misclick not punished. Godot almost heavy this mechanism up. I'm a little bit worried about Shatan, though. He doesn't really have a whole lot of farm. What is he sitting on CS-wise? 51. Really behind the solo mid Magnus, who's been ganking, checking runes a bit. It's just being a Sven in a tri-lane, in the offensive tri-lane. Simply because they're pulling, they're denying creeps. So even if you have perfect last hitting, you'll still fall behind compared to heroes that aren't dealing with that sort of thing, aren't dealing with creeps being denied. I have a much higher voice today because I'm trying to express my excitement, but I can't really yell because my roommates will wake up and be very upset at me. And I kind of want to have a nice living arrangement here, not be... It kind of disrupts my cast when my roommates are screaming at me, so... I do apologize, but if I'm too loud, it'll disrupt their sleep, and I'm trying to be respectful here, so... I do apologize. Hopefully the cast is still enjoyable all the same. For the moment, pretty even game, and MiTH still have this insane teamfight combo. Enigma is rushing a BKB, and there's zero answers for this BKB. There is nothing that goes through it. There's no way to cancel Black Hole once it's up. If they can get a Blink Dagger on Magnus and a BKB on Enigma, I feel their teamfight's going to be nigh unstoppable. R5 is going to hit the splitter. Godot charges in, doing tons of damage with that Edict. In comes the Dream Coil, Black Hole, catching out Risk, catching out FC, who did not orb far enough. The Ice Pad to cancel it, but the damage may be already done. Risk is going to live, charging into the Magnus. What a reverse polarity. So much chain stun, so much burst damage. Score is actually 2-2, and Bounty Hunter's still alive. He's going to chase in. Thinking about Enigma, going back for SD. SD may have overextended. In comes lakelz. He's got that net. No! Shrink and Toss. Rich says, okay, you want to strut up to me. I'm going to slap you down. He finds the kill. Now TNK forced to run away. And the TP out coming from SD. TNK has those demonic conversions, so he should be alright. Ay, ay, ay. A good question to ask now, does the puck have a Blink Dagger? FC trying to farm one up. He's getting pretty close, and this will really help them. Between the puck having a Blink and Bounty Hunter, they can start to find kills deeper in the enemy side of the map. They can be a little bit more aggressive going for them. Bounty Hunter coming in, wants TNK. Is he going to find him? There's a Sven who's charging in. Track to start. Look at the move speed on this Sven. Once he gets in range for the track to buff him up. 443 on the Bounty Hunter. Just insane. TNK still alive. No Black Hole. Saw to the Siren. Blunts the aggression. Turns it around. Now the TP out. And in fact, Risk might overextend. Risk might be the one who pays. They're going to catch out the Sven. Sven will drop. In comes FC. Is going to pick off SD momentarily. SD will fall, dodges the net with a beautiful phase shift. The split earth missing everything, being juked and dodged by N9, who are playing exceptionally well individually in these team fights. Risk turns around, picks up yet another kill. 14-7 is our score. aaabaaa has his ultimate cooling down. There's your Blink Dagger on FZ. And now they have even better initiation, better chasing power. And they're kind of just sidestepping this team fight of MiTH. They're fighting when the ultimates are down. They're not getting caught, they're not grouping up too much, and having that track move speed, having the mobility of a hero like Puck allows you to do it. N9 outmaster, or sort of just outplaying MiTH in these team fights. I do believe life gets significantly more difficult once you have the BKB on the Enigma and the Blink Dagger on the Magnus. It's going to be a lot harder to stay spread out, to maintain discipline, but until that point, it's going to be fairly easy. And in fact, what a sprout by SD. That was a ground sprout. A blind ground sprout on an invisible Bounty Hunter, I believe. Maybe he sprouted him just as he was fading, but still able to TP away. Without that, he was dead. FC was coming in hasted. lakelz has not farmed. That's the one concern, is this Naga has been shut down quite hard. Forced back, the macro pyre gets dropped. Mechanism and Vitality Booster up on Godot. Boy, is he farmed. Prophet going for an Oblivion Staff, so he's going for an Orchid. Wants to just be able to lock down someone like the Puck, or maybe the Twin-Headed Dragon, and burst them down to the team fight. Little surprised he's not going for a Hex, maybe a Necro 3 to give Vision of the Bounty Hunter to give you some additional pushing power. And it needs to be pointed out, N9 have held on to every single outer tower, despite being up against a Prophet, a Leshrac, an Enigma, and a Magnus. In fact, they may strike first. They're pushing this top lane. And MiTH Trust have not really they haven't realized the full strength of their lineup, either the team fight or the push power. We haven't seen either being utilized to its full extent yet.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Illuminate being channeled. Godot just harassing lakelz back, and now that he's got a Vitality Booster and a mech, he can be very aggressive and obnoxious on this bottom lane. You'll also notice he has an Observer Ward here, so he'll be able to spot anybody rotating to gank. aaabaaa is going to empower himself. Now, as you may notice, Naga hasn't gone for really any damage items so far, just tanking up Tranquil Boots Vanguard. Oh, aaabaaa gets caught. This will be a track kill, or maybe not. Oh, he breaks the Dream Coil, and unfortunately there was also a Shrink and Toss there. It's going to go down. Almost escaped though. Almost escaped. I love how you can cliff walk with that, with that new charge ability or skewer. God, I'm never going to remember that name. But as far as lakelz goes, he's gone for these tank items, but this is a game where Naga doesn't really need that many damage items. Because you've got Magnus, you've got a hero that can either provide the damage himself or empower you. So if you just get something like a Diffusal Blade, maybe a Yasha, something that gives you some good stats, Empower gives you additional damage based on your base stat, and you'll get tons of damage for relatively few items. So Naga can go, generally we see Nagas go pretty defensive anyway. But especially in this game, you don't need to go for something like Radiance. You really don't need to go for anything more farming or aggressive. You can go mostly tank, get one damage/utility item, like a Manta, like a Diffusal, and you'll be doing plenty of damage. So far, so good. Pretty back and forth game. Still a bit of a gold lead has started to dip towards the Dire, but still a bit of experience lead for the Radiant. Anybody's game at this point. It just feels like MiTH Trust are on the back foot. They have the Orchid up on the Prophet. Do they have their mech yet? No, they haven't gone for a mech because Enigma's rushing this BKB. He's going to have a BKB soon. Magnus already has his Blink Dagger, so they are getting their core items up, and I think this is the correct way to play against N9. You can win this game late. Sven is a pretty fearsome late game carry. If he gets items, he can deal with illusion heroes like Naga extremely well. But all he's got is drums and treads. He's not farming that well. The heroes that have farm aren't really the heroes that are going to hurt you, I don't think. Godot gets caught out. There's the Orchid to bring him low. He's still got this mechanism. Holds onto it for a bit, but he should drop to this. So much damage. He'll drop. FC blinks it. Now the track to fly. SD dropping low. In comes R5, and the Split Earth actually not going to work because... Oh, he breaks the Dream Coil. He breaks the Dream Coil wall. The sleep is there. Oh, what a mistake from SD. Might have been dead anyway. I think his TP was on cooldown. No, he had a TP scroll. He could have lived. Oh, that's unfortunate. Now the Courier gets caught. Janata crit. Should be able to bring it down. They don't care about that Courier. The net onto SK. Was it a mistake? Blink forward from FC. Doing tons of AoE damage. Boy, do they need a big black hole right now. Now they're chasing the Courier. The Courier is going to live. Flap, little Roshan. Flap for all you're worth. God, it's fat. It's ugly, but it's going to get out of there just barely. BKB now complete on the Bounty Hunter. Oh, boy. MiTH Trust. Just a few engagements where... You know, individual mistakes are really costing them. If Prophet TP's out there with his teleport scroll, he can rejoin the fight and pretty much, like, almost instantly with a fresh Orchid. Because the cooldown is only 18 seconds. He could have silenced someone. He could have been back with Trance and a Sprout. Possibly even Dust for the Bounty Hunter if they needed it. That's a big mistake. And the good news is I don't think they lose this tower. The other downside is, once again, we're not going to see the proper order of operations for their ultimates in this next team fight. Because the Naga ult's on cooldown for... It was actually used when she was level 10. Or no, she just didn't skill it to level 2. I don't like this skill build at all. You gotta level up your ult whenever you can, because the cooldown goes down dramatically. It's a full additional minute. And for this lineup, for MiTH Trust, they need it to disengage. It's not even about the team fight setup. It's so that you can use it in a situation like we saw bottom and then have it back up for the next team fight. People are defending the baby rush. I don't know. I think most babies are ugly, guys. They're fat. They don't have hair. They're creepy and ugly. It's kind of cute, though. I guess Baby Rosh is a little bit cuter. Now, MiTH Trust is from Thailand. It's made in Thailand esports, I believe. Or something along those lines. Oh, this chat. So, a big fight for N9, and now they're going to go Roche. BKB is coming pretty soon for Shatan. Sure, he's not that far, but then again, Sven doesn't really need to be that crazy big, and Risk is getting quite scary. Max Janata, at this point in the game, these heroes don't have that much armor. They don't have a mech for the extra armor. They don't have that many levels. Here comes lakelz, looking to do a little bit of scouting. Very surprised to see him running his main hero in. Really should be keeping that farther back. Oh man, you guys are out of control in this chat. Silence on the FC. This could be a good engagement. Is there enough damage? Skewer to drive him towards his own tower. Doesn't have mana. Doesn't have mana for reverse polarity. Now Abba's got to get out of there. He will. The mana leak, I believe, was what brought him low. Now he's got to go back to base. Mana leak, just such an aggravating spell in the team fight. Now the TP top from the Prophet. SD starting to get a little bit more active around the map. I still wouldn't mind seeing him go back for a Necro 3, go back for something that just gives you this additional pushing power. It's going to be 3 TPs. He does get the tower. Worth his own life. Will they even be able to kill him? The Ice Path is there. He should drop to this. Now the track. Ice Path to give them vision, and they're going to bring him down. Good little kill. In comes aaabaaa. He's got power. They want to dive this a little bit. BKB is complete on TNK. And I still think MiTH Trust is in a very solid position to win this game. It's dead even. They have, for my eyes, the better late game lineup. aaabaaa, though, just not finding the good openings. BKB from TNK. He's dropping low. He's tanking the tower. Kill the damn tower. He's going to die. One more auto attacks. Very sloppy, over-aggressive play for MiTH, and they are being heavily punished. aaabaaa, no mana again for reverse polarity. Again, he's out of mana. Oh, boy. I think it was the mana leak. It was. This mana leak is just ruining the Magnus. And where is the order? Where is the organization in these team fights? Why is Enigma tanking them? Why is your Magnetar blinking past the towers? They're just really forcing the issue, and they're paying for it. Their lineup to me would be much better off just taking things safe, playing it slow. Make sure the Naga's gonna be there. Fight under your own tower so you can always have the additional TPs coming in. So you're not blowing BKB charges and getting caught out of position. When you get spread out, when you get isolated, that's where heroes like Bounty Hunter just ruin you. And speaking of that, Bounty Hunter finds a solo kill on the Prophet. The Prophet will die. Risk picks him off, and Risk just being 7-0. Such a high impact. Leading the game in net worth. Level 16, which not only gives you additional minus armor, gives you insane amounts of gold. Every kill that he gets is basically 2 kills. You get extra 250 gold for that. And if all of your allies get track gold, that's another 600 gold for the team. So you could get almost 1,000 gold per kill if your whole team is there. Absolute chaos. In spite of how much momentum N9 has, if you look at the graphs, gold is actually still favoring the Radiant by a tiny amount. And they are a lineup that really just needs one team fight, so we can't count them out. Anybody who's counting them out in the chat is not really thinking about the matchup that well. Either of these teams has the potential to take this game. N9 are playing better, they're getting kills now. But that's also what their lineup is built to do. They're built to dominate the mid game. They're built to get a lot of kills until MiTH Trust have enough items to group up as 5 and try and force the issue. But MiTH are getting there. They've got the BKB on the Enigma. Sure, he didn't use it properly last fight. He's still got a BKB. A broadsword picked up for Magnetar. I assume this is a blade mail. It could be a Crystallis. Could be a Battle Fury. Crystallis kind of makes sense, except I think it's really the Naga who should be doing the damage, and Magnetar should just get a BKB so he doesn't have to deal with Mono Leak, so he can just jump in and take some spells first. But we'll see. Maybe they want to sort of flip those roles, have Magnetar as the primary damage dealer, have Naga as the frontline tank. That could certainly work too. Here comes Risk, and will he be spotted? Nope, not yet. This is something MiTH Trust have always excelled at, is even if they're losing the game in kills, they get tons of farm. Everybody's getting items. Heck, even R5 has power treads and a magic wand, which honestly, with how bad that Tri-Lane was going for them at times, is pretty impressive. Aaabaaa blink, but that doesn't dodge the Stormbolt. He actually, he skewers through the Stormbolt, and that'll bring him to safety. Gets stunned on the end, on the far side of the skewer. That was some Michael Jordan-esque kind of play. All you can do is cue up the ldOTA funny music at that point. Which, if it wasn't copyrighted, I would do right now. Recall from godot, just making that Sven a little bit more efficient with his time. He's gonna bring him into Roshan. Sven's got his BKB up.
Invisibility.
Magnus getting close to level 16. R5 comes in, he's invis, and actually, this is gonna force them back. They see the Enigma coming, they don't know who else is there. They're a bit worried about a huge team fight. lakelz is coming in. They gotta organize their team fights, though. They gotta group up as a squad. They still... Prophet. Okay, so the Magnetar has joined the fight. They are gonna have the full squad. Courier being hunted. Risk gonna track onto lakelz. He's gone back for the sake of relics, so... multiple heroes probably going for damage items. They're going for a Crystallis and a Radiance. We'll see how it works. I think this is a little greedy. I would much rather see at least one of these heroes just rush a BKB, just tank up a little bit. Something like a Reaver, something like a Heart, or even a Lincoln Sphere. But for the moment, they force N9 off of that Roshan pad, and this is just the threat of a well-executed team fight lineup. Sure, MiTH Trust hasn't shown a great team fight yet, but N9 know they can. They know if they get caught in the pit and there's a sleep there, there's a BKB black hole, there's a reverse polarity to set all of it up, it could absolutely be a disaster. And just the threat alone, even if MiTH haven't shown any signs of being able to pull it off, is enough to force N9 away. Oh, I love how the chat is always about anything but the game. Naga's getting close to the Radiance. God, it's such a late Radiance. She's not going to pick this up until probably the 31-minute mark. And that's assuming she does. She's also not level 16 yet, speaking of which, Blinken, and the silence, and that's it. Meanwhile, Bounty Hunter is hunting. SD tries to sprout him in, just barely missing. Trinket toss to bring him low. Risk is going to be forced away by aaabaaa rotating in. Meanwhile, the supports from the bottom lane rotating back. BKB charge was blown. And he's now down to an 8-second BKB. Hasn't really done a whole lot with those charges. I think the clock is ticking for N9. Hex is coming up on the puck. But really, how are they going to deal with MiTH Trust after a certain point? It's really not a hard lineup for MiTH Trust to execute. As long as Naga is too tanky to be brought down, Naga just walks in, she sits in the front lines. When the enemy team initiates, she sleeps. Or the Enigma baits her, blinks in with the black hole. Or the Magnus blinks in and reverse polarities. They have a lot of ways. And he's going back for a Battle Fury. Now, I said they like to farm, and it's sort of the way that they win games. But even for MiTH Trust, this is 31-minute Radiance. We're looking at like a 34, 35-minute Battle Fury. I don't know about these item selections. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I think they're putting a little too much faith in N9 sitting back for the next 20 minutes. Prophet getting close to something. He's got the ultimate orb up. He's going for a Hex, so they are getting to at least one standard item on one of their heroes. No sense of urgency for N9. Keeper of the Light, as well as Jakiro. These heroes do not scale well into the late game. Jakiro, Ice Path on paper, great, yes, but you're up against heroes that are going to have BKBs sooner or later, and once they have BKBs, Ice Path ain't doing anything for you, Macropyre's not doing anything for you, Illuminate's not doing anything for you, Rod of Atos, this is a filthy rich Keeper of the Light. Godot, this is a forgotten item as well, just something we never expect to see. fzfz, there's the TP for the Prophet, not a good blink, the midget blink, but the haste ring gets popped and he will escape. Here comes the rotation. 3 heroes smoked up from N9. That was like a Muggsy Bogues blink right there, for anyone who watches pro basketball. Oh, don't get caught, SD. He's dead. SD is screwed. This is the one thing MiTH don't really want to have happen. He will have buyback, but forcing that buyback out would be pretty huge. They're going to get a tier 2 off of this. Here's a blast. I always get confused with this ult if he's recalling or not, so you have to look at the minimap. Don't think the animations are quite distinctive enough compared to Dota 1. But either way, here comes lakelz. He's got the sleep. Could start this fight off pretty well. Notice the position of winner. He's extremely far back, but that's not going to matter when there's a black hole. Catches the puck, catches the Sven. They're going to melt. They get brought down immediately, but risk hasn't been dealt with yet. Reverse polarity, the cleave damage. MiTH Truster having a pretty solid team fight. Shatan dropping low. Shatan to fall. Even for good measure, was going to be brought back into the tower. Profit bought back for this. 2 heroes dead. Bounty Hunter barely escapes with this life. Bottom lane pushing into their base. A fantastic team fight for N9. For MiTH Trust. Not as good as they would have liked, but most importantly, they defend the tier 2. They force a bunch of BKB charges out of N9. Should they use some of their own? But breaking evenly is good enough for MiTH Trust right now. They don't have to crushingly win team fights. They just have to hold on. They just have to not fall behind too much. And this is that BKB on the Enigma. Once he walks in with BKB, there's just nothing that N9 can do. They get caught, the puck and the Sven get black holed, and that's pretty much all she wrote. It's also sort of the weakness of having these melee heroes like Bounty Hunter and Sven as your carries, is they have to be in really close to do damage. And that's right in Enigma's wheelhouse. That's where it's very easy to set up a black hole. It's very easy to hit reverse polarity. Hyperion, if you want to cast the next game, you are welcome to join me, by the way. I would love the company, but N9, gonna go for this Roshan. Second time they've attempted it, and I think they should be able to get it this time. They know there's no reverse polarity. Actually, the cooldown's lower than I realized. Only 100 seconds. I said 140. I was dead wrong on that level 3 reverse polarity. Enigma doesn't have black hole, but if N9 is a little forgetful, he might just be able to bully them away with a BKB charge. They don't have to sleep. It is cooling down soon. Initiation on TNK. I don't think he's the hero to focus. They will get a kill, but it won't be a track kill. He'll drop the gem, though, on the floor. This could be big. This could be huge. Surge away from aaabaaa, but he's so damn slow. Now the Monolith to hold him in place. Blink away. What a boss. What a juke. Barry Sanders playing this Magnus, but he'll die anyway. Profit pushing that top lane. In the meanwhile, here comes the rotation from R5, from lakelz. Even Barry Sanders got tackled on occasion. Great fight for MiTH, and you see this is the downside of their lineup. It's what we talked about in the draft, is they pick into the Magnus after the Enigma and the Naga, and sure, it's an amazing team fight, but they rely on long cooldown ultimates to do it. That one was a football reference, not a basketball reference. SD getting close to his Scythe of Vice. In spite of buying back, Shatan's gonna pick up. What did Shatan actually buy? I clicked on the wrong hero there. He's got 1,400 gold. He's got the Aegis. Will be TPing top now. Linked in, but immediately Shatan gets silenced. SD, nice little play by him, and he'll get away. Scythe of Vice up on FZ. MiTH Trust really should be in a more comfortable position right now, but they've had so many questionable team fights, given away so many pickoffs. And also the item selection, for me, leaves something to be desired. I really think just getting a Diffusal Blade on the Naga, or just a Heart, a Lakelz Sphere, something either to tank or to benefit from Empower directly would be a lot more effective than this Radiance. Similarly for the Magnus, I don't really see the point of the Battle Fury. Much better for, if you want to just do raw damage, Battle Fury can be a nice item, but you get it to farm early. You don't need it. As far as damage items goes, something you already get cleave from your Empower. You're much better off just getting something like an Armlet. Heck, a Crystallis would probably do more for you, and it's also a lot cheaper. Battle Fury is a pretty expensive item. Blink Insight Device onto lakelz. He's gonna get caught. Will they be able to burst him down? Yes, they will. With that Radiance not helping to keep him alive, the Courier dives in. behind enemy lines and will survive. In comes Enigma. He's got the black hole. Song of the Siren to set up this team fight. It's going to catch everyone, but they're pretty spread out. It's going to catch FC and Winter. Where's the follow-up? Nagaball back for this. Instantly 2 heroes brought down. That's the team fight, even if not perfectly executed. In comes Magnetar. Counter initiation. Surprise Sven. Sven is dead. Sven will fall. Shatan drops now under risk. Everyone getting wiped. The team fight just outrageous, disgusting, filthy, unbelievable for MiTH. Even with not perfect execution, it's the buybacks they're doing for him. And Shatan, who's going to lose his Aegis now. Ay, ay, ay. 15 to 26. They just got 5 kills there. If you count the Aegis kill twice, then it's 6. That's almost doubling their kill count this game. And look at the gold graph. Look at the experience graph. This is what we talked about with MiTH. It's a lineup. Set it and forget it. Once you get a good sleep, once you get a good black hole, it's very hard to mess up from there.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's a good spread from N9, but it's just there's so little margin for error. You don't have to be good. You have to be perfect. aaabaaa overextending, though. MiTH getting very greedy. Now TMK getting slowed down by that Rod of Atos. He'll fall. MiTH Trust really not respecting N9. N9 did use 2 buybacks for this at least. TNK should drop. Naga's got the ult. Naga's got the sleep. Gotta sleep. What are you waiting for, lakelz? What are you waiting for? He's gonna die. No sleep. Must have been hitting the wrong hotkey or something. Unfortunate. Now SD might even fall. MiTH Trust just getting pulled apart. SD might even get solo killed. He will because he breaks the Dream Coil. Again, the Dream Coil being broken. Probably was dead anyway with godot showing up. Oh man, MiTH Trust is... They've had their moments of brilliance this game, but then they've had these moments of just baffling misplays. Very Jekyll and Hyde. And look at the skull graph. Just look at the skull graph. Are you kidding me? I feel like I'm on a roller coaster right now, except it's not just a regular roller coaster. It's the kind that, you know, the kind that just like send you in circles and suddenly your head's facing towards the ground, like that put you into like under 6 levels of G-force or something. Just crazy game so far. Back and forth. Tower's dropping low. Tower should be picked off pretty soon. SD is going to get psyched up. In comes aaabaaa, catches 3 with the reverse polarity. MiTH Trust, would you pull it together already and keep on fighting like this? They get a great double kill to start this engagement off. And I think you just group up as 5 now. Get a tier 2. Go force the issue, but they're chasing, and I don't like this decision one bit. Well, maybe it'll work. Prophet does have the Hex. It's on cooldown, though. Well, now they're going to chase. So they go for the kill. It doesn't work. That's fine. They'll group up mid. They'll look to chase now. Nice play from the Magnus. MiTH Trust back to playing well after a moment of just confusion. They're going to be pushing this middle lane. They get the tier 2, and I think they can... no, maybe can't quite backdoor. TP in towards the top lane. This is going to force Bounty Hunter to be very cautious. There's a gem up on Enigma, although he's heading towards bottom. BKB gets popped. SD might fall. SK, or Risk rather, is here. Shuriken Toss brings him low. Needs to TP out. Doesn't have the cooldown. Track up again. He had a TP scroll. He waited too long. I think he's going to die for this. No, maybe not. He gets away. He gets away. Yeah, we have a Mega Prophet now. I believe it's whenever a hero gets hexed. After they get hexed, they get bigger for the rest of the game. Middle lane and 9 trying to push it out. MiTH Trust still not really executing as well as you would like. They have these great team fights, then they followed up with, you know, some spreading out, and they're really a lineup that wants to be grouped up now. Especially with Song of the Siren, no matter what. You've got this 1 minute cooldown Song of the Siren. Sure, the Black Hole is a long cooldown. Sure, Reverse Polarity is 100 seconds. But just with the Song of the Siren, you can push, you can chip away at the tower, and if they really go in on you, if they really get aggressive, you just back off. lakelz getting close to a Reaver. I think once he has that, it's going to make life a lot easier for MiTH, a lot harder to burst him down. They also don't have a pipe, and honestly, a pipe is mandatory against N9. That or 3 or 4 BKBs, but they haven't gone for either just yet. So item selection still something that MiTH Trust are going to want to work on if they hope to win this game. But they're not in a hurry. MiTH, especially with these items, they would love to just sit back and farm. aaabaaa has gone for a Mask of Madness. Well, as though we already saw him just mowing down heroes by himself. Now he's got that insane additional attack speed. He will die immediately if he gets disabled by... If anyone stuns him while he's got the Mask of Madness on, he's dead. No question about it. Even a hero like Puck, with his nukes alone, can bring aaabaaa extremely low. Here comes the smoke gank. Risk. There will be a Naga illusion, just doing a little bit of damage to him. N9 are smoked up. They're baiting this bottom lane. They're baiting Shatan. Speaking of Shatan, gone for the Blink there, gone for the help of the Dominator. Honestly, not going to be doing nearly as much damage as he could be. There's no Armlet, there's no Mask of Madness, no Daedalus, no Crystallis. Shatan has gone for more of this tanking mobility build. But is this the right choice? It seems like N9 have to burst heroes down very quickly, otherwise the turnaround happens. Blink in, hacks on the Prophet. SD does have buyback. No, actually, it's on cooldown. They'll be forced back. They're worried about this team fight. They're worried about the counter initiation. The threat of it alone is enough to keep the Prophet alive. Now they're going to TP back. They're going to run away. Smoke gank fails. They do pressure in that bottom lane. But in a game that stretches onwards, it's just getting harder and harder for N9 to win this. They're doing their best they can to extend the game. Even the Keeper of the Light is now going back for Scythe of Ice. Which, by the way, the Rod of Atos is a nice item, but he could have a Scythe of Ice by now. He could have a completed Scythe of Ice. The Vitality Booster, it's a great item. It gives you some HP, but I'm not sure completing the Rod of Atos does a whole lot. You don't need this additional... you don't need the additional mana pool. You don't really benefit from the intelligence as far as damage goes. So it's just about the Vitality Booster. The slow is okay, but it's not really a game-breaking ability, whereas a Hex could change the course of the game, and this is sort of why we don't see items like Rod of Atos too much, is they're expensive enough that it's generally not worth getting them. They're generally better items. Even something like an Orchid, I feel, would be doing a lot more for this team. Well, it's farming. More farming for MiTH, and they're not really pulling ahead, but breaking even in gold still going to work to their favor. Now the heart almost complete on lakelz, and now lakelz just got a hell of a lot harder to kill. Shatan whiffs the Stormbolt, stuns an illusion instead of the main hero. That should put an end to the engagement, but a bit of miscommunication as Winter charges in. Now the track comes out on Naga. Naga very close to this heart. I don't even know if they kill her, even if they lock her down with the Stormbolt there. Because she's got the sleep, and sure, you can BKB if you're the Sven, then you get netted, and then it's just Bounty Hunter who can maybe give chase. Here comes aaabaaa, looking towards mid. Despite having this Battle Fury, he's not really farming that much. Being outfarmed by the Sven, the Prophet, the Naga, and the Enigma. Granted, the Enigma is getting a ton of jungle creeps, so that's why we see the gold a bit higher. Speaking of that Enigma, he's got a Blink Dagger. I think they just bought a new gem. Oh, they bought it a little while ago, but it's cooling down. It'll be back up soon. Want to make sure that Risk doesn't get the jump on him. That's how MiTH lose this game, is if they get picked off one by one. And the best way to avoid that is to have something like a gem. That reliable vision, not just for the Bounty Hunter, but also to make sure you have map control. Speaking of map control, they have full map control. Great defensive wards being placed. The Dire don't have a single one. And if we actually look at what the Dire see, they see almost nothing. MiTH, despite losing all but one of their outer towers, have just done a better job at getting the wards up this game. Track onto lakelz, could use that mirror image, and then take this Invis Rune. Oh, maybe should have switched the order there. Well, it's going to get rid of the Invis Rune. He's just about to get the heart. In fact, he has it now. I believe you just buy it because you're not going to buy back anyway. And having a heart is a big advantage. N9 are going for the roast. They're taking a risk. Crystallis is up on Shatan. He's mowing through him. 900 damage. He will get the Aegis. And MiTH, despite having some good wards, just kind of blindsided by that. They are split pushing. Desolator picked up on risk. He got a Yasha. He went back for the Desolator. He does have a BKB. If he gets silenced by the Orchid, he can just pop that BKB to get out of it. I'm still waiting to see if Shatan is going to have an opportunity to actually go to work and auto-attack in these fights. Every time he's tried to fight, in the past 20-25 minutes. Either Enigma's caught him in a black hole, or the Magnus has caught him in a reverse polarity. And either way, there's just nothing he's able to do. Risk is chasing, and SD is caught unawares. This might be a kill. Not a crit, bringing him very low. Needed to save that shrink and toss. SD could have TP'd away. Pops the BKB, turns around, and will be able to escape. lakelz with the heart up. MiTH are getting to a point where N9 can't really burst them down anymore. You can't really burst down this Naga. You can burst down the Magnus, but he's counter-initiating for the most part. Prophet should have buyback, although doesn't at the moment, but should probably by the next fight. Enigma definitely has buyback, and we'll likely see TNK die and then buyback in this next fight, honestly. He's a very high priority target. He's also a killable target.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
MiTH are going to forfeit their last outer tier 2.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
In exchange for some farms. So they still have these good wards up. aaabaaa's still farming the enemy jungle. He's getting close to something. I really would like to see a BKB from this guy. I think you do plenty of damage at this point. The issue isn't killing N9, honestly. N9 are a lot easier to kill than MiTH are. Because MiTH is so much teamfight locked on, so many things that go through BKB, so much long-term AoE disable. I won't be surprised if he goes for Daedalus the way he's been building. It's kind of a Daedalus build. I mean, getting that 30-minute Battle Fury, 32-minute Battle Fury, getting that 40-minute Mass Commandus. Probably will be a Daedalus. I think the BKB is the way to go, though. And N9, I'm not sure what they're waiting for. You're not going to have a better opportunity than this. Shatan's got his Daedalus up. He can't really get any bigger. Could get a Satanic, could get Boots of Travel, and buy something else if he loses the Aegis. But by that point, you're looking at an incredibly fat Magnus. You're looking at an incredibly fat Naga. I think the moment to strike is now. While that iron is not hot, but still has a bit of warmth left to it. I guess the Sight device for godot, that could be helpful. Still not really sure it's completely worth it. I was right. aaabaaa is going for the greed build. Let's see if he gets punished. He's about to be caught, but he blinks away at the right moment. He'll survive. Recall comes in. They're trying to bring this Fen into the fight. They will do so. Great positioning for MiTH. And they have a gem. The smoke, I think, is about to be dispelled. Everyone's going to run in. They're going to initiate on R5, which honestly could be quite good. TNK dropping low. TNK might get assassinated. Black hole. Oh, I think he just blew it. No, he didn't actually get it off. Prophet will die as well. 3 buybacks. Triple buyback. And N9 are going to be quite content with that. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Naga was pushing. They really needed the Naga there.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sure, the Sven's got a BKB, but you can still net him, hold him in place. Speaking of that, he's got a Satanic complete. Shatan quite farmed at this point. You'll also notice that when that gank happened was right around the time that all of MiTH's wards died. Sure, they were smoked, but I'm pretty sure they smoked near a ward over in this region. And even just having those wards up, if you see that much of the map and there's nobody on the map, it's pretty much obvious there are 5 missing. It seemed like MiTH had an idea, but they just kind of realized a few seconds too late. Magnus getting close to his Daedalus. Actually, great time to double check who's got buyback right now. Everybody except for the 3 Radiant heroes that just bought back. That's a concern for them, though. They really can't afford to die again. And now it's Bounty Hunter going for what looks to be an Abyssal Blade. Rish just going for this assassination style. Maximize your individual Janata crits. burst a hero down before they can do anything. That is kind of the way to breach the MiTH Trust teamfight lineup. Now, MiTH should still have it in a teamfight, but they have to organize it properly. They have to group up properly. I'm kind of a broken record at this point, but honestly, you're 50 minutes in. You've got a Naga, a Magnus, and an Enigma. You should be grouping up. You should be making sure that you have wards, that you're not getting ambushed. I don't think you need to split farm anymore. I don't think it favors you at this point. It's too easy to get picked. lakelz will come in. He gets caught. He gets burst down. Can they really kill him from full health? He's still silenced. Still brought low, but Black Hole catches too. There will be a sleep to follow this up, but you don't really want to follow up with sleep. lakelz drops low. Where the hell is that Magnus? aaabaaa's coming in. Can he hit a nice reverse polarity? Not sure if he'll be able to just yet. In fact, oh sorry, he did use it. I completely missed that. Whoops. Well, that teamfight did not go according to expectation, not according to plan whatsoever. I guess he blinked away in the middle of the teamfight. Stun onto R5. Shatan kills him at 2 shots. And MiTH Trust, they blow their big teamfight, and now what do they have left? That's the question. That's what we're about to find out. Shatan's dropping low. Shatan is gonna die. Shatan is dead. He's dead for 100 seconds, and MiTH Trust might just win this by sheer force of numbers. They're turning the fight around. Can they deal with Risk? Can they bring him down? That's the question. The net onto Risk. Risk will drop low. aaabaaa trying to bring him down. Still alive. Risk will drop. The net just such a great counter carry item. FZ alive. FZ still doing some work. Even just auto tech at this point. Now SD gets caught. They're running out of buybacks. They're running out of time. All the buybacks are down except for 2 on the dire side. And with just a fresh wave of buybacks, I believe N9 are going to be able to take Rex. There's an Naga sleep to slow this down. There's going to be a reverse polarity soon. There's the sleep. The bottle on the floor. Kills the bottle. But more importantly, can he kill anyone else? Basher is up. lakelz gets hexed. Look at the burst damage. Where is the follow-up? Why are they fighting when reverse polarity is 5 seconds from cooldown? Why are they fighting outside the base? So many questions. So little time to answer them all. And I think with this, well, they did get 2 kills, but just absolute chaos in this fight. fzfz still chasing, blinking forward to Shatan. There's your BKB. Sven trying to chase Enigma. Enigma blinks into the trees. He will be able to TP away. They can't catch him. They can't bring him down. Miraculously, MiTH Trust hang on. Tons of gold and experience going the way of N9, though. That's the story of this game right now. Everybody used a buyback pretty much in that fight. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buybacks on cooldown. And I believe 1 or 2 of the buybacks just finished coming off cooldown. So I think it was even more than that. N9, they're getting to a point where everyone's going to have a hex. They've got, how many hexes do they have? Triple hex. All of the supports have a hex. We're 55 minutes into this game. This is just insanity. Daedalus is coming. Actually, not coming soon. Because of that buyback, he's a long way off of actually getting the Demon Edge. SD TP's top. We haven't really seen any item progression for MiTH. That's the big concern, is they bought back so much, they've gotten picked off so much, that it's really hurting their ability to farm. SD is going to get caught. Whereas you look at N9, Shiva's now up on the puck. Shatan's added a Satanic and a Daedalus in the past 10 minutes. Godot's got his Hex. He's had it for a little while now. Winter's got a Hex. Winter's had a Yule Scepter. And the Bounty Hunter, who's probably had the most items of anyone added to his inventory. He's got the Basher. He's got the Boots of Travel. He picked up the Desolator maybe 15 minutes ago. Just continuous item progression for N9 and MiTH Trust not progressing whatsoever. MiTH Trust smoke up, heading into their own jungle. The new Roshan is respawning soon. Great to have Prophet in this situation, at least to keep the lanes under control. A little bit bold of SD, honestly, even running that far into the river. He'll wisely back off. Now Illuminate. Being charged just to push out that middle lane. Prophet's going to TP away top. And both teams are TNK is going to deward, so the jig is up. The Roshan is going to drop extremely quickly. In fact, it's almost dead already. Oh my god, he's critting for 1900. Aegis on the floor. Cheese on the floor as well. Deny it with the illusions. Deny it with the illusions. Not going to deny it with the illusions. Oh, unfortunate. Could have at least denied that 7th life. This might be what N9 need. Also, let's check buybacks again. Perfect time to do it. Enigma's got one. Puck and the Prophet. Bounty Hunter, no gold to buy back. I think he just completed his Abyssal Blade. Nope. Never mind. Here comes that potential game-ending push bottom. Let's see if MiTH Trust have a big team fight in them. Let's see if they're going to be prepared. They got to get back to base soon. They're trying to force some TPs away. Prophet's actually going to leave that top lane and go bottom. You're up against a Sven with a lot of items. You're going to just lose racks very quickly. They have a Glyph. They have the Naga ult. Speaking of which, they have a big Naga. Super Naga, in fact. She's quite large. It's quite powerful. A very early ward cry. I feel too early. Blink in though. Hex on lakelz. They want to go. Where's that black hole? Catches out 2. What a black hole. Catches out 3. In fact, Macropyre as well. Shatan's doing some good work. Where's the net? Net that damn Sven. He's not netting them. Shatan's still doing tons of damage. He's being brought low. Shatan will drop. Remember, he's got the Aegis. He's going to come back with his ultimate, but he won't have the BKB. I think they can change them. I think they can bring him down. No, Shatan blinks away. Dodges away. Now the sleep. Here comes the counter initiation. They still have the reverse polarity. This is looking a great fight for MiTH Trust. Reverse polarity on the 2 carries. Chopping away at them. Chomping away. Can they finish them all? Can they finish the job? Take out the trash. MiTH Trust. They're trying their best. lakelz giving chase. So many damn hexes. FC gets another kill. Buyback from the Sven. Sven trying to rejoin this fight. Running away is Risk. Risk still alive. TNK giving chase. SD on the winner. Winner trying to survive. He'll drop low, but he'll live in the end. And MiTH Trust do it. They pull together a fantastic team fight. I wasn't calling N9 trash. I guess that sounded bad. I was more just saying, like, you know, clean up what you started, but... sorry if anyone thought I was flaming N9. I guess that could be misinterpreted. Daedalus now up on the Prophet, so getting another source of damage here. You can see the power of the Naga net. It's honestly even more important than the sleep in these team fights. It's just netting either the Sven or the Bounty Hunter. They can't do anything. Goes through BKB, they just get locked in place, they get kited, then it sets up your black hole, it sets up your split earth, and also all the BKBs are down to a very low cooldown at this point. Great fight for MiTH, but because of track gold, it actually favors N9. Daedalus coming up pretty soon. Also, let's do another buyback check. We're just getting into the ultra late game. This is like deep sea. Yeah, this is like seeing what's at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. You know, it's just like very few people have ever traveled there before, and we're at that point. Late game Dota. The unplumbed depths. So we're at a point now where N9 are going to force the issue. They know the black hole's on cooldown for a little bit, but it's so late in the game now that as long as you use your black hole effectively, enough heroes will be dead that by the time, and their cooldowns are long enough on the respawn timers, that by the time they respawn, your black hole's basically up. They just gotta stall for a little bit. I wouldn't even mind just throwing out the sleep preemptively just to buy time. They have the glyph as well. Between those two, they should be able to stall this. They gotta pop the sleep soon. There's the sleep to set things up. Black hole cooling down. 3 seconds to fly on that. FC jumps in with the blink dagger, but they need to focus TNK. Can they bring him down? It's only a 5-second BKB. This might be enough. Look at the damage. The reverse polarity. Unbelievable. aaabaaa and Shatan is almost killing him with the crits. Oh, N9, this is just too much to crack at this point. Now on to winner. MiTH Trust just showing that their lineup goes later and has much better team fight than N9, and they're going to clean up 3 kills and defend again. And now look at how long N9 are dead for. Now your black holes guaranteed to be up by the next team fight. Beautiful coordination for MiTH Trust. They're pulling it together. They really are, and they also have more heroes that scale well into the late game. I gotta say, aaabaaa has been the hero for this team. They've had some decent black holes, but it's really these reverse polarities on the two carries and maybe one of the supports that are absolutely winning them the fights. Glyph is available, N9 will pop it now. I think they just lose the game. Do they have buyback? No buyback on the Sven, no buyback on the Bounty Hunter, or sorry, Bounty Hunter's alive. No buyback on the Puck. No buyback on the Twin-Headed Dragon, so nobody's got buyback. And now the Trust are going to get one lane of Rex, probably two, and you're up against a Prophet, you're up against a Naga, you're up against a good turtling lineup. I don't think you can come back from this. MiTH Trust are going to take a ridiculous thriller of a game. By all accounts, this should be theirs to win. Now they're going to catch out Risk. Time for a little fun. Time for a little tier 4 diving. Risk to pop that BKB. And he gets stunned by the Monolith, not able to chase. Just get the racks, damn it. Win the game while you can. Oh god, don't let N9 back from this game. If you're a MiTH Trust fan, you gotta be praying for them to get the racks. They will do so. They'll get out of here. 2 lanes of racks, and that's late game Dota for you. You go late. If you get caught without buyback, if you get caught with buybacks on cooldown, with your Aegis or Cheese down, the enemy team isn't just getting a tower. They're getting 1, 2, maybe even 3 lanes of racks. But showing off some cute... I gotta say, showed us some cute utility with this ability as well. You can blink in and then skewer an enemy back towards your team. You can skewer over multiple cliffs just to farm a little bit faster, to escape. You can skewer up onto hills. So a lot of cool usages for the spell. Something that I think we've really learned from this game that, for people who haven't seen Magnus played before in competitive, which I know he's been used in by some of the European teams, but not, I know Navi's used him occasionally, but not really a common pick. So cool things to do with that hero. And N9 seem like they're all but out of gas at this point. If you have triple Hex, you have a virtually max inventory Sven and Bounty Hunter, and you're losing team fights, you're losing these battles. I don't know how you come back from that. I don't know what you do. You gotta just hope for pickoffs, but MiTH is having buybacks. They've been pretty good about that. That's one thing that should be mentioned is they've had buybacks almost every fight. I see people in the chat calling it cheesy, but hey, if it works, it works. Naga gets caught. lakelz is not an easy hero to bring down, not a good hero to initiate on, I feel. And he won't choose to sleep, won't choose to engage. The team has arrived. They're going to back him up. They're going for a death push. I expect what they'll do is siege this, use the Naga illusions to work on the tower, use the Idolize the trance. Although against a hero like the Keeper of the Light, it's only the Naga illusions they can deal with. The tower drops. 2 lanes pushing in. This is going to pull N9 apart at the seams, and they're going to have a very tough time defending this push. Especially because if MiTH want to play it properly, they just leave the rest of the team really far back. Incredibly far back. lakelz has buyback. He can buy back and get boots of travel. And so he can rejoin this fight even if by some miracle N9 bursts him down. So just stay back, let the Naga illusions do the dirty work. Even the Treants are starting to bring this tower down. And then, if they engage on your Naga, you counter-initiate with the Magnus with the Enigma. Perfect positioning for MiTH. Understanding the situation, playing it correctly, and really leaving N9 out of options. I think their plans are pretty much tied. Well, MiTH is going to force the issue. This is a little bit riskier, but it could work. Scythe of Vice onto TNK. He's getting silenced. He's getting chain stun. Black hole, and it's a reverse polarity of 3. Destruction, absolute murder. Oh, somebody call the police. We have a genocidal maniac on the loose. And with that, 2 gems on the floor. Ornamentation for this game. MiTH Trust just getting out of control, and aaabaaa bailing his Enigma out a few times in these team fights. Too much team fight, too much late game, too much farm for MiTH Trust. They steal one. They really steal one from N9. By all accounts, N9 played better for about 30-40 minutes of this game. And that's a nice little trick with Skewers that they talked about earlier. aaabaaa's going to fountain farm very effectively. The GGs come out. A bit of a thriller for this game. 66 minutes in. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 33-39. But who said Dota was about kills? Who said it was about items? Dota is a game of bases. It's a game of thrones. And in the end, we all can't survive when it comes to that Game of Thrones. It will be MiTH Trust taking this game. Impressive comeback. A lot of poise shown by them. Sure, not the smoothest play by either team, but MiTH Trust managed to take it late against a pretty tough lineup. To do so, they weather the early storm, and they'll take it 1-0. This is a best-of-1. It is group stage action. You've been watching the GEST Dota 2 group stages, presented by Dota Talk and brought to you by Beyond the Summit. Thank you all very much for joining me. If you're not familiar with me, I'm ld. of dotacommentaries.com, of Beyond the Summit. And if you enjoy my casting, be sure to follow me, Facebook, twitter.com/ldDOTA. VODs for today will be available at youtube.com/ldDOTA. And we should have another match coming up soon. But for now, thank you for tuning in.